Well, the marriage is over. The marriage between Foodie Beauty and Salah. At least for now, it's over. So a couple days ago, maybe 2 days ago, Foodie Beauty gets on her live and she is just raging. And the title of the live was, I'm single. So now here's what I can make out of the situation. As we've all heard her say time and time again, her and Salah, they message, they FaceTime all day long. Okay, so she had sent Salah a message of some sort, and maybe 30 minutes to an hour goes by with no reply. So he finally replies back, and she is just raging. Because she came right out and said that because of the whole Kybella incident when he cheated, which she clearly has never gotten over. Should have called it quits then, in my opinion. She has a right to know what Salah is doing and where he's at every minute of every day. She wants an hour-by-hour report. Disgusting. That's just pushing a man further away, in my opinion, when you want to control him like that. So she questions him as to why he hadn't responded sooner. He claims he had to use the restroom, and then someone rang the doorbell. Okay, no big deal. But apparently the argument escalates, and we don't know exactly what happened, but they call it quits. So then Chantal gets on here, and she is just raging. She's talking about Salah and his cousin. He has a cousin, apparently, that whispers in his ear. And in his culture, first cousins can marry. So she's convinced that something's going on with this first cousin. Then she goes on to talk very foul about Salah's family, about how they never liked her, and their dogs, etc., etc. Well, let's think about this for a minute. Of course, they were not going to ever like Chantal. You know, he lives in an area where in a culture where it's about family. Everything is about family. And that's what she was complaining about, is he wants to listen to his family, do everything his family says, live and die by the instructions of his family. That's his culture. And his family, they don't want him with a Western woman. They want him with a traditional Muslim woman that's going to make a housewife a good housewife, not one, who can't stand having the company and it's a bother to make the coffee. They don't want to clean the house. They want to lay up and eat all the time. No. So, and there had already been this rumor going around that Salah has taken a second wife. And according to rumor, they were in Egypt and this woman is due with his child in September. But anyways, Salah is definitely going to listen to his family. And she has been complaining how he will not even show her a picture of the home because the family told him not to. So her argument here is she feels like Salah is making a life for himself in Syria. Of course he is. He has no intentions of coming to Canada to be with your lazy behind. So she had been talking about they had a solid plan. It was just going to take some time. And then, the whole Malaysia trip was called off because it was just going to be so hot and she didn't want to go. And then she had also lied because she later came out and said it was a lie. She talked about a man that she had met during a TikTok battle and he was going to take her to Dubai. But she later came out and said that was a lie. So then she throws a really low blow and accuses Salah of DV. Apparently, the first time she was going to leave Syria to come back to Canada. And she got sick at the airport, remember that? And they gave her the banana or whatever because she had passed out, supposedly. I don't believe it. Nothing about that. So anyways, so I had to come back to the airport and pick her up and take her back to his home in Syria. So they got into some sort of argument, and she admits she was hollering at him, carrying on. He got angry and threw his, as she called it, his purse at her. Hit her in the eye, right around the eye, with the buckle of the purse. But what she fails to tell us, that she tells us later, is she had first thrown, as she said, whipped her cell phone at him, and her cell phone hit him in the face and left a mark on him. But she wants to accuse him of being the violent one, right? And now here's what's really irritating me with this whole situation. Is she's going on and on and on. It's not her fault how she acts. He has caused her to act this way. It's because of him that she acts this way. What? No matter what anyone does to you, you have a choice of how you're going to respond to someone's actions. You can choose to act like this or act like this. Nobody forces you to act any way. But it's all Salah's fault. She has no fault at all in this. So I guess as of now, they have each other blocked. And he's going to apparently go through with the divorce. And she's arguing about her divorce. She got married at the courthouse in Kuwait. So she asked ChatGPT if that's legal in Canada, and they say, yes, it is. But here's the thing, Chantal, how is Canada even going to know that you're married, to look up that marriage license or however it works over there, if you never told them? I'm sure there's not this international database for marriages. And now she brings up the cat Julia, or Juice, or whatever she calls this cat, right? The cat never liked her anyways, in my opinion. So now she has this great idea that she's got to get to Syria to get Juice, the cat. No, this is just a reason for her to continue to harass Salah and to take her big behind over there and to get into that house. If she really wanted this cat, why didn't she bring the cat with her when she returned to Canada? But instead got this new cat, BG13, or whatever the heck she calls that cat. No, she's using this cat. Now she's using this cat as a pawn in her game. It's disgusting. Disgusting. Now she has this new life plan. She's going to try to get her revenge body. Where? I don't think we'll ever see that, but she's going to get into a routine and focus on her health. And she's not going to take off her hijab, and she's not going to date any non-Muslim men. She's not going to get a man right away because she feels, she needs some time with herself. And her food, of course. Let's not forget her food. I'm not sure. If it's, okay, here's what I think. My closing thought on this whole fiasco. If it's up to Foodie, she's going to go back to Salah. This is not the end. But I am thinking, by some messages we had seen that Salah had sent to a hater, as she says, he says he's done. So I'm kind of leaning towards Salah is done with her. This might be the end of Foodie and Salah. What do you think?